Hi everybody. So I've been thinking about it a bit, and it occurred to me that when I got into what I do now, I got into it because I was injured. And back when I was injured, Pilates and learning functional movement patterns changed my life. And when I was injured, I made a promise to myself that once I got better, I would figure out a way to share that information, and I would figure out a way to give back. So I think that now is that time. I mean, obviously, Posture Studios, I created Posture Studio with that mission in mind, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start giving little gifts to you guys through this time period. So there's just gonna be short little snippets of some of the exercises that we do. Today what I'm doing is gonna be just 5 little basic exercises of what you can do by using a flex band. You don't have to have a flex band for these, but if you do, it will definitely help. So I'll go ahead and start. So if you don't have a flex band, you can easily order one. This flex band's very light. I can really pull on it. It's super, super light. So unless you're really strong and you want to work on the strength, I'm just using this flex band to help support us a bit through some of these exercises. I'm going to lie down on my back, and in this position I'm trying to find neutral pelvis, and I'm also going to try to find neutral rib cage, and I will be posting more information on how to find that. For now, what I want you to think about is that your 2 hips and your pelvis, everything's in a straight long in a line here. So what I mean by that is I'm not too flexed under, my back's not pushed into the floor, so I don't see a slope here. And I'm also not arched in my back, so I'm not sloping this way. I'm gonna be even from my ribs to my hip bones, so in this long line. If you're having a hard time and you tend to be too flexed here, your neck is gonna go back. And so see if you can think of elongating through here and draw your chin to chest. If you're too extended, your ribs might pop like this. And so you can use your shoulders to reach forward a bit and see if that helps you draw those ribs back down, okay? But once we find that neutral position, what I want to play around with is seeing if I can bring just one knee to me without letting anything in this torso change. So this is just the basic, lifting a knee up so that the leg goes parallel to the floor and then letting it come back down. A lot of times I'll see people do this exercise by just extending the lower leg, but you're truly, I think, almost like a puppet. Like I have a string here, and I can pull that string to draw my knee to me, and then I'm gonna just let that leg go back down again, right? So I'm allowing it to come up, and then I'm taking it back down again. And so the movement's here at the hip. Now for me, when I first started, I could not do that and maintain stabilization. I would wobble all over the place. And so you can use this flex band to put under your knee here. I'm gonna double mine up so it's a little bit stronger for this particular thing. So I can help myself pull my leg to me and then place this back down. So you can use it that way if you need the assistance of the flex band. You can also place the flex band around the foot, and it becomes more core work. So I'm going to put this around my foot, and again I'm going to choke up on this a bit, and as I exhale I'm going to put this down toward the ground, and then inhale, draw back up. So this adds some resistance, and again the breath movement here is going to be to exhale to lower, inhale to float. So you can try those different variations and see which one works for you. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and switch legs. So again, I'm going to start off initially by just playing around, see if I can find this position, and just allow my leg to move in the socket. So I'm going to inhale here. As I exhale, my leg goes away. Inhale, come back up again, and exhale. The reason why I'm going to have you exhale here is as the leg goes away, the leg is a weight, so it's going to pull on your torso. So I'm trying to use that exhalation to strengthen your torso a little bit when you lower. Again, if you need to, you can use this flex band to help you lift up and down, Or if you want more out of it, and again, I really love how this feels. If you want more out of it, you can put your foot like this and lower and allow it to come back. Again, exhaling. Inhale to float. On this next one, I'm going to reach all the way long through my leg. That should feel nice and good through the back of your leg. I'm going to let my knee come back to me. And again, exhale, reach, reach, and reach. Inhale. So as I'm going through this motion again, I'm trying to not let anything move in that torso. I imagine as if there's an X drawn on my body. So from my shoulders to my hips, I have a huge X on the front and the back of me. And I want that X to stay relatively even front and back. So in other words, I don't want the front to be shorter than the back or the back to be longer than the front. Trying to get myself nice and long. The other thing I'm looking is that my hips, from the distance from my hips to my underarm, are even both sides. Let's do that on the other side. So again, I'm going to exhale as I send this leg away, and then inhale, come back. And again, exhale. Now I'm keeping my elbows bent like this, so it's also using my bicep a bit. So I'm going to exhale to reach and inhale. For those of you who are more advanced, you can put both of your feet in here, and as you exhale, reach away. You might not go as low, or you might go low, but you can exhale and reach, and you'll feel the weight of those legs really makes you kick into those torso muscles. The more you choke up on this, the easier that becomes. So I can go lower if I choke up on it more, and if I make it easier, it becomes harder. All right, so I'm going to go back to this first leg. We're going to do some leg circles. So you can either keep your one knee bent or you can reach it all the way long. Either way, I want you to kind of activate that side of your body a little bit. So you're not just kind of chilling out here, right? We're working. So the torso muscles are working to maintain that neutral. This leg is gently active, and if it's here, I'm going to gently press into the floor. From here, I'm going to lower my leg down. I'm going to go out and around and then cross the body a little bit and come back through. So you can make circles that are big, or you can make circles that are small. You can make circles that become more of ovals this way, or you can make circles that are ovals this way. So any of those are good because they're all targeting different points. I can make a circle that's an oval way up top here. So there's all kinds of different ways you can make your circles. I really like, for me, going open because it really feels good in my hip, and I like getting that freedom in my hip joint. Now I've been doing this a long time, so I can maintain stability as I move through that leg. But when I first started, I had to use a flex band, hold on tight, and I had to just make teeny tiny little circles because I could not maintain stabilization while I moved my leg around. Now you can reverse direction, but the goal with all of this stuff is to practice. As we practice, we get better at things. And so you might start this and go, oh my goodness, I can't do this. But that means you need to practice. And it's really good for you. The ability to mobilize your hip joint, to be able to keep freedom in your hip while your torso is in a neutral position, is really key, especially as we age. Okay? And if you're an athlete, it's key for your range of motion. You want to maintain that range of motion in your hip because it gives you more power. So again, we're going to do this on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to lower down, and again, I can keep this leg long or not, and then I'm going to go around through these circles. I always exhale when I take my leg away from me, and then inhale when it's coming toward me again. And again, for me, the reason I do that is because the weight of the leg is heavy, and the farther it goes away from me, the more I'm asking for my body to give me support, and I can find that through that exhalation. And then you can reverse direction of those circles. Again, I'm keeping this leg active. If that's too much, you can definitely bend that knee, completely fine. All right, so now I'm going to take this flex band, and I'm going to put it, I'm going to kind of get it broad again. I'm going to place it here around my knees, right? And from here, I'm going to just do a basic hip lift. So what that means is I'm maintaining my torso in neutral. I'm gonna engage my glutes and lift up as I keep engaging those glutes. And I'm gonna think about pressing energy through into that band. So I'm pushing into that band. And then I'm gonna let go of my glutes and drop straight back down. When you use your glutes start opening the front of your hip. So if you're trying to open the front of your hip, your glutes need to work to support you. Otherwise, you're gonna be using your lumbar spine to lift your hips. And again, reach back down or drop back down. So again, I'm gonna engage my glutes, the back of my legs. If you have not done this before and you're feeling a hamstring cramp, it is normal. So just take a break and stretch it out. But as you get stronger in those glutes, the more you'll be able to get into this motion. When you're getting those hamstring cramps, it's because your hamstrings have been doing a lot that your glutes have not. So learning to use those glutes to lift those hips up is what we're practicing here. What I'm doing again is I'm thinking of that X pattern, right? So I want from my hips to my shoulders to be level, or from my knees to my shoulders on each side. I don't want one side to be dropped down. I don't want one side to be shorter. And let's just do one more time here. Now on this next one, I'm gonna roll down one vertebrae at a time and then release. And I'm gonna roll back up one vertebra at a time, all the way back up. So I'm gonna let go of that so you can see me. And what I mean by that is you're gonna draw your sternum and ribs toward the floor, then the next spot, then the next spot, then the next spot, then the next spot, and release. Inhale, and again, exhale. Go into this little bit of a tilt using your core or your abdominals for this part of this flexion. Then I'm gonna engage my glutes in the back of my legs as I start rolling up, peeling up one vertebra at a time, all the way up to here. Now this is not a bridge in yoga. This is not going up into extension. I'm really staying broad on my back and just going through this straight line, and then I'm flexing away from it again. So I'm flexing back down. Let's try that one more time. So going into this pelvic tilt, engage glutes, back of the legs, and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Send energy through those legs here. Inhale and exhale, sternum and ribs hug the floor and come all the way back down again, and you can release. All right, so I'm gonna use this flex band now. I'm gonna come on up. You can roll onto your side and come up, or come up however feels best for you. And I'm gonna take this flex band now and place it behind my back here. And so it's right behind me here. And I'm gonna come down onto all fours. So you can go ahead and get set up. Again, you don't have to have the flex band for this. But what I want to play around with is seeing if once I'm in this neutral position, again, I don't want you too flexed here. We're also not going to be too extended here. We're lengthening that whole X pattern on our back straight toward the ceiling, chin to chest here. I'm going to see if I can draw up my ribs toward that band as I exhale. And it's going to also make me flex in my mid body. And then inhale, release that back again. So I'm gonna exhale and draw my ribs up into that band. Again, you're gonna probably feel your glutes engage because your hips are gonna start going that way and the glutes are gonna work. Inhale, lengthen again. And exhale, draw your mid body up, up, up into that band. Your chin comes to chest here. Inhale, release, and one more time, exhale. And then inhale to release. Okay, we're gonna do the same idea, except place the band around your lower body. So I'm gonna place it right in that part of my back, like, to me it's right around like where my pants are, the top of my pants. So I'm placing this around me again, and oops, slid. So you might try to get this wide so it doesn't slide, and don't get it too tight because it will slide then. So I'm placing this around me here. And same idea, my back is nice and long, I'm not too flexed and I'm not too extended. and my shoulders are engaged, so my shoulders are not popped off of my rib cage. And what I want to do is your SI joints right through here, I want you to think about sending your hips back into that band. And this feels so good. It's giving your back a little bit of a release, and then inhale to come back. And again, exhale, send your hips back into that band. You're drawing your abs up, and then inhale to release. I'm gonna make this a little bit tighter for me so I feel it even more. To me, I feel like I'm just so supported by this flex band here. And I'm trying to move evenly through both hips. So I'm not gonna only go through one side, right? I'm trying to move evenly, elongating from my hips to my shoulders on the back, and then refinding that neutral position. On this next one, I'm gonna do the same motion, and I'm gonna actually go back a little farther and then come back through. So I'm gonna go into this roundness and go back a little farther, and you don't have to go all the way down. I'm going through and then come back up. And one more time, exhale, deepen, deepen, deepen. You're being supported here by this flex band. And then inhale to come back up again. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this flex band and put it under my knees. Now, if that's too much, you can also get into a chair. You can sit in your chair, and you can put the flex band under your chair, or you can sit on the flex band. And I'm gonna reach this up toward the ceiling and go up and over through a side bend. Yep. And then come all the way back through. So again, you can do this from a seated position as well. And maybe I will so you can see all of me here. But you can also do this up on your knees, or you can do this in this traditional mermaid position. So kind of just choose which way you want to do that. And again, I'm going to exhale and reach, 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 reach. Inhale. So the goal here is both of my hips stay relatively level, and as I go over, I'm side bending my body toward that band, and it's making me flex right through here. And then I'm going to engage these muscles again to draw me back up to the center position. And last time, so exhaling up and over, and then inhale back through. All right, so change your foot position, or just change your hands, whatever position you were in, and we'll do the same thing. So I'm going to hold on to this, and again, I'm going up and over. Again, you do not have to have a flex band to do this. And if you want more of the stretch feel, don't use the flex band. But if you want more of the work in those obliques, use the flex band. Good, and we'll do one more time. So we're gonna exhale, going up and over. Awesome. All right, I think that was 5 things probably, but I'm gonna do one more thing, bonus. So I'll have you place this under your feet here. We're gonna sit all the way up tall and reach. You can either keep your elbows to your sides, put your hands in front of you like this, or reach your hands out in front of you. And we're gonna just curl down toward the floor, all the way down. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, return. Come tall, tall, tallest at the end. So as you go, you're gonna keep your head between your shoulders. I see people do this all the time. Keep your head between your shoulders. The curve is happening here, not here, okay? So I'm scooping from here, and I'm trying to get that lumbar spine toward the floor first. So again, I'm gonna engage my glutes, because remember, I'm opening the front of those hips. You don't have to go all the way down. If you can just get down here a little bit, so be it. That's completely fine. And again, when I first started doing this, I could barely go anywhere. You can also do this with your knees bent, and that is easier as well. The other thing I want to watch for is I don't want you to pull your shoulders back. A lot of times people get into really pulling this band. Keep your shoulders snug against your rib cage. You're moving in your torso. Again, you can bend your knees if that helps you. And let's do one more time. So exhale, I'll keep the knees bent here. For me, I'm gonna elongate my knees at the end just to get that reach. And then exhale, I'll bend my knees again to come back up. Good. All right, you guys. Using a flex band, you can do all kinds of stuff, and it gets endless. You can do rotations, you can stretch out your back, you can get into more strength training. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Go to posturestudio.com to see what else we're doing. We do have classes starting as low as $5, and then we're also making videos for people at home. But anyway, I hope this helps you, and take care.